Would you like to? Well, we finished it, so if you want to stop at 4:15.
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and thank you for your prayers. And by the grace of God, last weekend I was in Ipswich and Norwich, and the Lord again emphasized, word in my heart, that God should raise many more solid Bible teachers who would teach the church into deeper truth. So I had the whole day seminar on Saturday, and I was talking on God's execution. That is, so thank God, and the church is now turning to the word, and I'll share later what the Lord has done. Actually, that particular Tamil church, now they are coming out of the Pentecostal background, and God willing, that please pray that church will come to grasp the deeper truth. So I would like to start with a true story that happened in almost 1947. When one man was flying to China. Next to him was a teacher. The teacher asked, there's a little girl. A small information was given to
Can everyone hear? All right. Can everyone hear above the fan? Yes. Fine.
So that girl was really suffering physically, mentally, abandoned, shattered girl. So this lady asked that man, will you be able to help this girl? So he had at that time $5. So he said, okay, I am giving the last $5 to her. If possible, I will go back to USA, America, and I'll try to send some money. So he went back, but he could not sleep. The girl's figure, the face was coming again and again to his mind. Lord, he was praying, Lord, why was this girl abandoned? Why was she shattered? What can I do to these kinds of girls, boys and girls in this world? What can I do, Lord? Then he started an organization that is now in more than 150 countries, that is called World Vision. Pierce Bob was the man. So the small information that brought transformation in his life, just a story, a small information about a particular girl by this teacher. So that inquiry, that information brought unthinkable. The World Vision was emerged. That's the World Vision, Bob Pierce, you would have heard of his name. So he was the one who told, let my heart be broken by the things that breaks the heart of God. Let my heart be broken by the things that break the heart of God. So today we are going to see one man. He received an information from afar. That information brought transformation in a particular city, and that is the story we are going to see. We are going to read Nehemiah chapter 1. Nehemiah chapter 1, actually there are 11 verses. And the words of Nehemiah, the son of Hananiah, and it came to pass in the month Sislu, in the 28th year, as I was in Susan, the palace. We know the Israelites, Judean people were exiled. They were taken captivity to the Babylon as foretold by Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and they were taken into captivity almost 600 kilometers away to the northeast. Now the Babylonian took them, now they were defeated. Now the Medo-Persian king was ruling at that time. So Susan is the capital. So he was in the palace. He was in a good place, actually. So now the verse 2, that Hanani, one of my brethren, that is his blood relative, that is his brother, came, and he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. So even though he was far away, 600 kilometers away, those days, no WhatsApp, no email, no phone calls to inquire immediately and get back and forth information. So whoever comes and tells, and that will be the information. I know because my grandma died during the wartime. We didn't have any communication at all. Only after 3 months, I came to know my grandmother died because I was studying in India. There was no communication at all. So Nehemiah could not get any communication immediately, any information immediately. So when people came from, 600 kilometers from Jerusalem to Susan, so he started inquiring about what is happening to the city, what is happening to the people. Actually, they said, and they asked, I asked them, I inquired them concerning the Jews who had escaped. So he was a man who was concerned for the people of Jerusalem, God's covenant people, and also he was concerned about the place, Jerusalem itself. Because for Jewish people, Jerusalem, like Muslim, Makkah and Medina, are very important. So just like that, for Jewish people, Jerusalem is a very, very important place. So he was inquiring about the people and he was inquiring about the place. And, so number one, we are going to look at, from this chapter alone, 3 salient features or the characteristics of Nehemiah. Number one, he was a man of inquiry. Man of inquiry. That means he will be inquiring the people. He will be asking the people. And he didn't need to have asked about, okay, he would have said, okay, brothers, how are you doing and what are you going to eat? Have a cup of coffee or tea or, have lunch and, take a good rest. And he would have said and gone. But immediately he asked, how are they doing? What is happening in Jerusalem? Are my people okay? He was really burdened. So we need in the church today the people who are burdened for others. All around us are people with selfishness. They are concerned about themselves. The Nehemiah, even though he was in a high place, very top place as a, butler, cupbearer, he had a heart that could inquire about people who are in the low estate. That is an amazing thing, even though he was in a good place. So we should be the people, when we come to church, in the neighborhood, we should be inquiring whether how are you doing? How is your life? How is your spiritual life? How is your wife? How are your children? How is your job going on? These, even though these are small, questions, small inquiries, but that will have a great impact in their life. Let me tell you the true story about inquiring. One day, we had a pastor's meeting going on. 3 to 4 days, we will have meeting. So second day, I called one brother and asked, brother, are you coming for the meeting? He said, no, really, okay, I am going toward Jaffna. I am unable to come. Oh, I said, I am going to miss you. Anyway, brother, come next time. The very next day, we heard that he committed suicide. He committed suicide. His son rang me up and said, Appa, my dad committed suicide. We couldn't believe. We have had to stop the meeting. And people were sent immediately to go and inquire because I had to be with them, the visiting preachers from India. So what happened? Because he had some family issues, very complicated. So I was really heartbroken because had he come to that meeting on a particular day when I asked him, he would have been with us and we would have inquired him, brother, why are you so sad? What is happening to you? Then he would have shared with us and we would have prayed for him, we would have interceded for him, and he would have saved his life. But very sadly, he could not come on that particular day. So we missed it. That's what we need to, whenever new people come, old people come, we need to always, so people, we don't know, we cannot read people's mind and the heart, So that's what we always should be open, We should be kind-hearted people, whether, one of the things that I was a Hindu. After I became Christian, one of the things what I observed was, the Christians are the people caring for each other. When I was introduced to the church, they will ask, Murali, how are you doing? How is your dad doing? Your mom doing? And all, Okay, we'll be praying for them. The one another aspect, caring for one another, loving one another, forgiving one another, admonishing one another, helping one another, encouraging one another, motivating one another, challenging one another. All that one another aspect could be seen only in the church, the Lord's body. That is the blessing we have in Christ Jesus in the church. That we should not miss. Because in the mega church, if you go there, you don't know whether the pastor doesn't know whether you are dead or alive. 5,000, they'll be proud. Oh, 10,000 people. But I was in the state in 2 mega churches, okay? No one knew about me. They will go and come. That's all. It's like a club, So small is beautiful, they say, So that doesn't mean we should be too small, size of small, so that we can know each other, If someone is missing on Sunday, if there are 100 members in the church, I used to tell, if someone is missing on that particular Sunday, 99 phone calls should go to me. People should be calling. All the 90, brother, why didn't you come today? Sister, why didn't you come today? Oh, we miss you today. And he hung the phone, and then there's another call ringing. Everyone is asking, brother, why didn't you come? Sister, why didn't you come today? That is the church. My mentor in India would say, after drawing a circle, if you hit here, then the other side should know it is being hit. That is the church. He would say always. So we should feel for each other. So Nehemiah was a man of concern. So even though we don't agree with Rick Warren on many things, but when I was reading his purpose-driven church, he said, people may deny your doctrine sometime. People may deny your dogma, your confession, or your creed, but they cannot deny your love. They cannot deny your mercy or compassion, your genuine concern for them. That's what I always be genuinely concerned for other people. So we should be men of love, men of concern, men of mercy. Like Nehemiah, even though he was in a good place. And second thing we are going to see, he is a man of intercession, man of petition, man of prayer, intercession. Now, verse 4. It came to pass, when I heard these words, I sat down, wept, fasted, and prayed. So I immediately sat down. He could not bear the message. And he started weeping. And he started fasting. And he started praying. The information that brought an impact in his life. Someone said, I think it was very interesting. The Bernard Shaw said, one of the most sinful thing is not to hate others, rather becoming inconsiderate, unconcerned of others. So that's why in the church, we should be considerate toward each other. So Nehemiah was actually he was broken. You know, the broken walls brought the broken heart. Because walls in Jerusalem was broken. So when he came to know that, that scene, imagine that broken walls broke the hearts. That's very important. The broken heart should break our hearts. Broken lives should break our lives. That's it. So then the church will grow. Church will reach out the community, the society. Whether they are Muslims or Hindus or Buddhists, whoever it is. Even though they are not Buddhist, but these Christians have different spirit. They love the people. They care for each other. That's what, even during the tsunami time, during the COVID time, or during any war time, people in the third world country, the good people, they express their gratitude toward the West because these people are very concerned and they are supporting all these brothers and sisters. So the nature of intercession, we are going to see how Nehemiah was praying actually. His prayer was, number one, he started with adoration. Okay, we can see that. So he started with giving thanks to God, who God is, what he is, what he has done in the past. So he started with doxology, who God is, remembering who God is. Okay. One day Martin Luther's wife, Catherine, she was wearing a black, full black dress. Then Martin Luther asked, what happened to you, Catherine? Why are you all in the black dress today? And she said, the God is dead. What? What nonsense are you talking? God is dead. And she said, if God were alive, then you would not be mourning like this. You would not be discouraged like this. You should know who our God is. So Nehemiah immediately remembered who God is, what he has done. Right. Second thing, his prayer intercession was very intensive. So many times he said, oh God. That was really pleading with God. Listen to my prayer. Hearken unto my prayer, Lord. Oh God. Actually, that is very important that, oh God, actually, your groaning prayers will bring godly results. Passionate prayers will produce purity in our lives. Intensive prayers will bring immense, sometimes immediate answers. The intensive prayers will bring immense blessing in the church. That's what, church prayer meeting is very, very important. Remember that only God can change the hearts of the people. So we need to intercede for the people. So Nehemiah was praying. And he's a man, telegraphic prayer. The moment he wanted to go and meet the emperor, the king of, Persia, he immediately sent a telegraphic prayer to God. God, please remember me. I am going to meet this man to get the permission to go to Jerusalem. Had he denied, if he's going to deny, then I cannot do anything, Lord. I need to go and see the people. I need to go and dispel their plight. The remnant is in tragedy. They are grieving. So Lord, please help me. So moment, if you are, sometimes you don't need to, so we are in a position sometime, we will be asked to pray immediately, on the spot prayer. So his prayer was immediate also. Then his intercession was confessional. He was broken, contrite. He said, we have sinned against you. We have acted treacherously. We have gone astray, God. The confessional prayer, breaking down in tears and pleading, pleading not because of his righteousness or his good deeds, Rather, thinking of God's mercy and grace, he was pleading, we have sinned, we have acted corruptly. That's what he was praying. So the Lord answered that prayer, and his intercession was historical. C.S. Spurgeon would say always that whenever you pray, please remind God all the promises that he has given to you, he has given to the church. Don't give up. Remind him all the blessings. You said, Lord. You told, Lord. You promised, Lord. So Nehemiah was actually reminding God. You said, Lord, wherever you scattered them, if they really repent, if they become contrite in their heart, in their spirit, they are broken down, you will bring them to their own land. You said, Lord, now we are repenting. We are renouncing our sins. We are pleading to you. So you have promised you would do it. So the question is, how many of us can remind God about his promises in our prayers? How many of us can, Lord, you have said Matthew 7:7, you have said Matthew 6:33, Lord, you have said, Philippians 4:13 or 4:19, or 1 John 5:14, Lord, you said like this, or Jeremiah 33:3, you said, Lord. So that is the important of the intercession, that is historical, reminding God and what he has done in the past. Lord, you have scattered all the enemies, and you have split the Red Sea, you have split the Jordan River, you have demolished the wall of Jericho, you brought the manna from heaven, you made the water gush out of the rock. So many things you have done, Lord. Still you are able to do. Okay. Then his prayer was very confident in the sense, he believed that God would answer. Okay. So only God can solve that problem. And his prayer was actually, intercession was continual, actually. 4 months, from January to April, actually 4 months, he was praying and praying, actually. So how far, how depth, how much is our intercession for others? We need to intercede for others. Nehemiah interceded not for his family, not for himself. By God's grace, he was, well occupied, he was well to do. But he prayed for the people. The plight of the people in Jerusalem was broken. And the third thing, actually, he was a man of integrity. The last verse, it says that he was a butler. He was a cupbearer. It's a very, very important job. I was wondering, this Persian king, he was a pagan king. This Nehemiah was taken as a slave, as a captive. So in Indian Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi was shot dead by whom? His own bodyguards shot her. She believed them. But finally they shot her. So the cupbearer is a very, very, very important job, because he will taste the food, drink, and he will give it to the king. And it is very risky, because if it is poison, he will die. And he may also poison the king. But the king, the emperor, has such a faith, such a trust in him, that he would never, ever poison him. A pagan king has such a faith and trust in a Jewish man who was taken as a captive, as almost a slave. Now he's in a good place. So I was wondering, to that extent, his life was extraordinary. Incredible, his life was. In Sri Lanka, I always ask, if there are 4 people in your life who can put their signature on a white paper and give it to you, then it's enough that we have lived in this world. You know, signing, can you sign on white paper and give it to someone? But if 4 people believe in you, and if they give that white paper signed, then to that extent, to that extent, we should live as men of integrity, honest. Today, morality crisis, honesty crisis, integrity crisis. But Nehemiah was exemplary man, cupbearer for the pagan king. A very, very important, crucial job. But the king believed in him. 101%, the king believed in Nehemiah that he would never ever poison him. Nehemiah would have done, that put it and give it to him. And maybe slow poison, Then it will take 1 month, before that he can flee. The king will die. But the king never thought like that. He would, we should be people like that. People should tell, no, he would never do such a treacherous thing. He would never betray me. That is a man of integrity. So 3 things actually Nehemiah in this first chapter. He brings to us actually 3 things. Because he was a man of inquiry, man of intercession, and man of integrity. So that is the thing. So how did this king believe in Nehemiah? What was there in Nehemiah's life so that king would believe and appoint him as cupbearer or butler to him? What was there in his life? It's an amazing character, actually. If the King Charles would appoint you as butler, that means he has got 101% trust in you. Because you may do anything. Why is it easy? So that's what we should live. If we live, we should live like Nehemiah. That's what, because he impacted me a lot, I named my first son John Nehemiah. The second son, Luke Josiah. Because Josiah also impacted me a lot, King Josiah, the reformer, the great reformer. The way they changed the Jewish people, southern kingdom, Josiah. These Old Testament characters, when we really deeply study, they will teach so many things to learn from them. So if you have any question, you can ask. So 3 things. Man of inquiry in the church, we should be men of intercessors, and we should be men of integrity. So to that lesson, we have to live in the society, even in the office, even in your office. If you are working in secular office, I worked for 5 years in secular office before I resigned my job. So people should believe us. And, so that's when I was meditating the life of Nehemiah, the first chapter, the Lord brought these 3 things into my life actually, that I should follow a Nehemiah like this. Then the church will grow, the family will grow, the society will grow. If you have people like Nehemiah, Yes. So if you have any question, otherwise we can pray.
You just say, cool.